Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasari Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, thank you all for coming. We're doing so many things, all foolish, but thank you for coming. Yeah, now, whatever you do, all change. Whatever we just, I'm just gathering my thoughts. What I would really, I have something to say, and they've given me a verse from Bhagavad Gita. But what interests me more is that what's on your mind? So I'll give a little something, and then I want to hear questions. Hey, go, there we go. Because then I know what's on your mind. I can be talking over here, and you're all over there, so be thinking some question. If you all think of one question, not the same one, if you all think of one question, then that will be so many questions. Now I tell you what you're thinking. I know this much. You're all thinking that the person next to you will certainly ask a question. Now let's start on this side. And everybody thinks the person next to them is going to ask a question. What happens? Nobody asks a question. You think, oh, certainly someone else. But no, I'm talking to you and you and you and you and you. Come up with a question, because that is more enlightening. All right, now, and how long do we go to? And don't say, which people often do politely. They say, oh my gosh, as long as you want to talk. I appreciate that, but you don't really mean that. You know, they say the average attention span is whatever it is. Hare Krishna to you guys. So let's, let me just adjust my life here. They've given me verse, verse 254. But do we chant it and
we chant the verse and read the syllabus?
and we read the whole thing?
Yes.
Right. So let's find the verse. What does that sound? Sounds like a giant duck. What does that sound? We don't know.
There's one parrot that's in the next block. We expect, so
Is it a parrot?
looks like
We have a parrot in San Diego. His name is Sukadev. And he's a gray African. And they say they have the intelligence of up to 4-year-old, something like that. And he chants Om Namo Bhagavate. No, he can say that. The parrot. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He's an interesting bird. Although I'll tell you, they brought him one year for Janmashtami. And he can chant the whole Hare Krishna mantra. So many things. But there was somebody, we had one of our cows from our farm, we had Sukadev. It was fun for the kids. So Sukadev was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. But a dog came down. Somebody's walking a big dog. And the dog lunged at Sukadev He was on the leash, so he was okay. But he forgot all about Om Namo Bhagavate. You know, these phones have an off button on it. You'll be amazed to find. And you can hit the off button, and the bad news will still be there when you turn them back on. So we are on Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, verse 54. I'm still I was shot out of a cannon, an aluminum tube, and flew for 18 plus hours from California. So I'm still okay. Arjuna Uva, do you have the board? What do you have? Do you have everything on your phone? How are you going to chant? I don't see you with a phone. Are you with? After I just told you to shut them off. Hey, Hare Krishna, nice to see you. So what? How are you going to chant? You're all memorized Bhagavad Gita. How about you, buddy? You memorized Bhagavad Gita? What is the use of your life? But why don't you sit next to him and then you can chant? Because I'm going to call on you. You better be ready. Arjuna Vacha Sthita Pragyasya Bhasha Samadhi Tasya Keshava Sthita Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Jeta Kim Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim Take it away, Prabhu.
Arjuna Vacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim
Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Ashita Brajeta Kim
Arjuna Uvacha Sthita Pragyasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim asita vrajeta kim?
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
Vaishnavis,
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
समाधिस्तस्य केशव
समाधिस्तस्य केशव
स्थितादि किं प्रभासेत
स्थितादि किम् प्रभाषेत
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
समाधिस्तस्य केशव
समाधिस्तस्य केशव
स्थितादि किं प्रभाषेत
स्थितादि किम् प्रभाषेत
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
anyone representative from the younger set? How about you, young men? I don't want to put you on the spot. All right, take it away.
Arjuna Vacha.
अर्जुन उवाच
Prajnasya ka bhasha.
स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा
Samadhistasya keshava.
समाधिस्तस्य केशव
Sitadi kim prabhasheta.
स्थितादि किम् प्रभाषेत
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
किम् आसीत व्रजेत किम्
Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna said.
Arjuna said.
Sthita Pragyasya.
Sthita
Of one who is situated
one who is situated
in fixed Krishna consciousness.
in fixed Krishna consciousness.
What? Bhasha.
Bhasha.
Language.
Language.
Samadhistasya.
Samadhistasya.
One who is situated in trance.
One who is situated in trance.
Keshava.
Keshava.
O Krishna.
O Krishna.
Stitadi.
Stitadi.
One fixed in Krishna consciousness.
One fixed in Krishna consciousness.
Kim. What?
What?
Prabhaseta.
Prabhaseta.
Speaks.
Speaks.
Kim.
Kim.
How?
How?
Asita.
Asita.
Does remain still.
Does remain still.
Vrajeta.
Vrajeta.
Walks.
Walks.
Kim.
Kim.
How?
How?
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Do we do, I say, you say, we repeat in English? Yeah, that's the house rule. Arjuna said,
Arjuna said,
O Krishna,
O Krishna,
what are the symptoms
what are the symptoms
of one whose consciousness
of one whose
is
consciousness
thus merged in transcendence?
is thus merged in transcendence?
How does he speak?
How does he speak?
And what is his language?
And what is his language?
How does he sit?
How does he sit?
And how does he walk?
And how does he walk?
Just a sidelight, we'll read Prabhupada's book. But because it's fresh in my mind. We had a sewer break, sewer line break under the Brahmachari ashram. It used to be the Krishna lounge. I mean, it is the Krishna lounge. It used to be the Brahmachari ashram. And raw sewage flooded underneath. It was a sub-basement. It was only about this much space between the floor and the ground. And that whole area flooded with raw sewage. You can imagine the scene and the aroma. We hired a plumber to figure out what was wrong. And the man had to crawl through that stuff to find the broken pipe. And he used every foul, four-letter word you could ever imagine. I have never heard a drunk sailor come out with a string of words this man used. He came out, told us it was going to cost $16,000. We don't have that kind of money to throw. There's a devotee, Pavamana, who amongst his many talents is a plumber. So we called Pavamana Prabhu, who kindly came down and climbed through the same sewage. Only instead of all these foul words, he chanted practically the whole Vishnu Sahasranam. It was, oh, Govinda Shama Sundar. So same situation, devotee, karmi, complete. What was the language? What was the completely different? Anyway, that's a bit off the track, but I was just thinking about the difference of being a devotee. And he fixed it for free. So we were quite happy. So, Prabhupada says, as there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as a rich man, as a diseased man has symptoms by which he is known as diseased, or as an old man has symptoms. You know, we all have symptoms. By which he is known, that we said, is known as diseased, or a learned man has his symptoms, so a man in transcendental consciousness of Krishna has specific symptoms in various dealings. One can know his specific symptoms from Bhagavad Gita. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man. And when Prabhupada says man, he means person. It is said that a fool is undiscovered until, what? How does a fool know? Anybody know?
Opens his mouth.
Yeah, when he starts to talk, then you know what the caliber is. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptoms of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him, Krishna. Other symptoms then automatically follow as stated below. Om Ganapati So what is the name of the game? What is the name? What does ISKCON stand for? I've been saved by King Christ of Nazareth. What does ISKCON stand for? I hope I have this stomach.
Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Huh?
International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
For Krishna consciousness. People are conscious of so many things. People are politically conscious, fashion conscious, socially conscious. So many things. So what are we talking about? Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Does that mean Prabhupada said, devotee asked, what was Krishna seeing? What was Arjuna seeing on the battlefield? Was he seeing, of course, there's the 45 minutes to an hour when Krishna was explaining Bhagavad Gita. Okay, fine, he saw universal form. But during the rest of the time, the devotee was asking, what was Arjuna seeing? Was he seeing Krishna in Vrindavan with the gopis? Prabhupada said, no, he was fixed. How to fix the arrow, where to shoot, he was thinking about the practical matter at hand. But Prabhupada said, but he was remembering Krishna beforehand. Krishna was the impetus. Krishna's pleasure was the purpose, and he was remembering Krishna at the end. So we're practical, but we're doing it for Krishna. We're remembering Krishna in the process. And we're thanking Krishna at the end. We're thinking about Krishna. So I was thinking that vision changes everything. How we see the world. To see the world through the lens of Krishna consciousness. Why? Why do I care? So what? Everybody's thinking, well, what do I get out of it? That's the general analysis of every event. What do I get out of it? So what do I get out of becoming Krishna conscious? That's what we're going to talk about. The Prabhupada's classic, to give you the idea how vision changes everything. If there's a rope, but it's coiled in the corner of the room, and you think it's a snake, people can have a heart attack, drop dead and die. But when you turn on the light and it's just a rope, it's just a rope, no big deal. So they change, whether it's a rope or a snake, it depends on vision. If there's a telescope, you know, you have a little hand telescope when you're a kid, you know. And every kid, if they're bona fide, they look through the little end, out the big end, and what do? Also do? Turn it around and look from the big end to the little end. Now the eye is the same, the object is the same. But if I look through the big end, out the little end, the object becomes small. Did the object change size? No. If I look through the little end, out the big end, what happens to the object? It gets big. Did the object change shape? Just my angle of vision. That's all that changed. So this is Krishna consciousness is practical. It is the how to do the art of living. If we learn the principles of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says right in the beginning of the introduction, there's only 5 things. There's time, time, the material nature, the living entity, karma, and the Supreme Lord. And everything is a combination of those 5 things. It's all stirred by the time factor into a soup. And that's experience. I mean, it's broken down more in Shankar Yoga. But the point is that how to learn to see the world through Krishna conscious eyes. I was in Prabhupada's room, and he was sitting, you know, in a low seat. We were all sitting like this. Prabhupada said, you all think you're sitting on the floor? I am sitting in the hand of Krishna. So if Prabhupada gives the example, he was in the Calcutta Zoo, and there was a big Bengal tiger, which could eat you like a small snack item, like a little pakora. That woke him up. But the child had hold of his father's hand, and the lion was roaring, and the little boy was roaring back. Now, it's a miscalculation, but he's thinking, I've got my father, so I'm safe, and he's challenging the tiger. In the same way, and because it's a fact, if we know that I'm Krishna's servant, I'm surrendered to Krishna, I'm serving Krishna, and you may be working, you may be cooking, you may be doing so many things. What is it? 2 things equal to the same thing or equal to each other. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. So if I'm cooking for my family are devotees, I get a nice tape, my Guru Maharaj speaking, or nice bhajan, then you're Krishna conscious. That activity is serving Vaishnavas. You know, if I'm at work, but the money pays the rent to maintain my family of devotees, and I give a portion to the temple to serve Krishna's mission, then that's devotional service. So how to live in that way, it is a very satisfying way to live. It is really the only thing that I'll give you another example. Hello there, young man. I'll give you another example. This comes from my friend Sariputta. Sariputta was one of the founding members of the Bhaktivedanta Institute. Double PhD. It was fantastic. He's passed away. So evidently there's an experiment that you put on glasses. They did it at UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley. That sounds like a cell phone. Don't worry about it. And these glasses invert everything. So everything looks upside down. So you get, don't worry, bad news will still be there. So imagine they have people do experiments like bounce a ball, and it's completely discombobulating because you're actually bouncing it off what looks like the ceiling, you know, and people can't do it. Or to pour a glass from a pitcher of water into a glass, it's like if I held the glass upside down and poured the water on the floor, and that's how it got in the, you know, everything, picture everything topsy-turvy. So people really struggle. But lo and behold, and it doesn't take that long, they get used to it. They become acclimatized. And what's really far out is when they take off the glasses. You with me, Mataji? Yeah, we're working here. Yeah, welcome back. Sorry, it's my job. So, when they take the glasses off and they're looking at what's normal reality, everything's discombobulated. They're pouring the water on the floor, they're bouncing the, you know. So, what we become acclimatized, we think that's reality. And we function on that level, and we think it's normal. Prabhupada's classic example is in daytime, this is reality. But when we go to sleep, you know, we're being chased by a tiger, or we're a king, we're thinking about, you know, and that's reality. We forget all about this world. So Prabhupada says, if you think about it, whether it's a daydream or a night dream, it's all a dream. It doesn't mean it doesn't have, you know, temporary reality, but it's all a dream. The whole thing is a dream. And we're thinking with this body, we're thinking with this. I mean, we have to, even more difficult, we have to lug around with this false ego. Oh, you know, how do I look? And I was at the doctor's office the other day, and I saw a man on the scale. He was a little large size. So when they were weighing him on the scale, he sucked in his stomach. Is that going to make any difference, you know? But he was a little concerned about his image, you know? You see people who dye their hair, but they're too cheap to get it done regularly. So the whole front's gray and the back is, you know, brown, you know? I mean, it's such a hassle. What does everybody think about me? You know? You know Sura, did you ever meet Sura? Sura was a large book distributor, big book distributor in the airports. And he was also in charge of buying paper and arranging the printing for the BBT, the American BBT. And a really nice devotee. But I should say, and he was not very concerned about externals. When he would go to the airport, Sura, he would dress in a suit and tie, and then he'd wear flip-flops. I don't know what you call him. If you call him flip-flop, you know, classy. And I said, sir, what's the use of wearing the suit and tie if you're wearing flip-flops? He said, they never look down. And the truth is, we think that everybody's looking at us, but most people are thinking about themselves. That's what most people send me stuff all the time, and I'm very, if you're hearing out there, I'm very grateful. There was a apartment owner in Miami, Florida, and it was it was like a 30-story apartment building, and evidently it takes a lot of power to move those elevators up and down. And if they move at a slower speed, it doesn't cost as much. So this guy was so cheap that the elevators were just, creeping. Everyone was complaining the elevators are too slow. Did he speed up the elevator? He solved the problem. People were very grateful. They said, oh, thank you very much. But he didn't speed up the elevators. Anybody know what he did? He put mirrors in. And everybody spent their whole time looking at each other, and before they knew it, they were at their floor, So, we carry the burden of this body. Okay, that's one thing, and it's got, it gets old, it gets disease. So many. Rukmini gives a great description of Krishna. This bag of so many nasty things decorated with a mustache of some man. That's one thing. But the mind is even more, it's accepting and rejecting. It's always got, we don't have to, I don't want to take time right now. But even beyond the mind is the intelligence, beyond the intelligence is the false ego or pride. And it's such a burden. It's like lugging around 10,000 rocks. So, my point is, and there is a point, the Krishna consciousness is an art. It is a science. It is a way to change the way we see the world. And everybody's got an angle of vision. Everybody's looking through a particular tint of glasses. I had a friend, literally, before I became a devotee, and he had a pair of dark glasses, one that was blue shade, another one was a red shade, and another one was a yellow shade. I swear to you. And he would get up in the morning, and then according to his mood, he put on the blue tinted shades or the red, or the yellow. He was a fool with every pair he had on. But we're seeing the world through glasses, whether it's a rope or a snake or which end we look through the telescope. And Krishna consciousness is the way to see how to use everything in Krishna's service, to see Krishna acting, to see how can I use this for Krishna. When we have difficulty, this world is a difficult place. Anybody who's lived long enough, we think this, Prabhupada said, Ramaswar asked Prabhupada, and we'll take some questions now. Ramaswar asked Prabhupada, we're trying to serve Krishna, and things go smoothly. And then suddenly there's a disturbance. Why does Krishna let the disturbance go? Where's Krishna's mercy? Prabhupada said, actually, everything in this world is disturbed. And the fact that things go smoothly for a few minutes, that's actually Krishna's mercy. This world, what is it? Padam padam yadvipadam natesham. Or as Govinda Das says, we're like, you ever seen a lily pad, lotus pad? It's waxy, and you put a drop of water, it beats up on it. And it tilts even by the wind, and that drop of water rolls off. Our position in this world is like that. I am 73 years old, and my life has flown by. And everybody, the older you get, the faster time goes. We can talk about that another time. But this life just flashes by. And it's actually got so many difficulties. But it's therapeutically treated by Krishna consciousness. When there's difficulty, what does Krishna want me to learn? I'm not a very patient person. Devaki can confirm this. I'm better than I used to be. I'm better than at least that much I can say. But when you see the hand of Krishna working, okay, Krishna's put me in this situation. Is Krishna cruel and unkind or capricious, whimsical? No. Krishna, the devotees, Prabhupada saw an ad, Allstate Insurance. I don't know if this is still their logo, but their logo used to be, it was a pair of cupped hands. And in it, there was the house and the car and the nuclear family, husband, wife, 2 kids, and the faithful dog Fido. So this was the advertisement. It was at a big building. Prabhupada drove by, saw it, checked it out. Prabhupada said, this is Krishna consciousness. What is it? Prabhupada said, Yokesh mam vaham yuham. Krishna preserves what we have. He brings what we lack. Prabhupada said, you think you're sitting on the floor? I'm sitting in the hand of Krishna. So if some difficult thing has come, why is this happening? Don't just raise your hand like Lear on the moor cursing God. There's a lesson. There's a purpose. I meant, because why are we in this world? We're in this world to grow, to change, and I promise I'll end it. Michelangelo, so they say, was before he carved David. David's considered the most beautiful sculpture statue that's ever been made, and it's completely, it looks like it's going to wake up. It's bigger than life size. So when he first was starting, there was a big block. Picture a big block of solid white marble. And he was just looking at it, looking at it. And usually people sketch. They sketch on all 4 sides. He wasn't doing that. And his friend said, when are you going to sketch out? He said, I can see it. I can see it. I just figuring out how to remove the extra. You follow? In the big block, he could see the statue. And he was just chipping off, chipping away. He could see it. So we are pure spirit soul. Nitai Swarup Krishna Das. We're eternal servants of Krishna. That's who we are. Now we're covered with pride and anger and envy. And we think we're black or white or male or female. I'm important. We got all this stuff. And Krishna's job is to chip it away. Chip all that illusion, all the anarthas away, so the pure spirit soul can manifest. And when we're struggling, when we're in difficulty, and I don't mean to minimize the weight of stuff. There's some heavy things that happen in this world. On one hand, we get the information we've got a terminal disease. Everyone is shocked. Everybody in here in this room has a terminal diagnosis. They asked Prabhupada, this is many years ago. Now America's become 3rd world and India's becoming at least close to 1st world. They asked Prabhupada, why is the death rate so high in India? Prabhupada said, death rate's the same everywhere, 100%. So, we're shocked that someone died, but we're all dying. Sorry, folks. So anyway, my point being, as a simple gloss introduction, there are symptoms, there are characteristics. there is a sweet way of seeing the world through the eyes of Krishna consciousness. And Bhagavad Gita is teaching that science. It is a science, just like there's a science for distilling contaminated water to pure, crystal clear drinking water. There's a science, there's a methodology. In the same way, just as in the West, they're so proud. I don't know how they put the education here in Singapore, but in American schools, elementary school, you learn about all the explorers in London. Who's the guy? Magellan, Columbus, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. You know, you learn all those, and how, you know, the Western world, and there's so many different laws, Heisenberg's gas law, there's so, you learn all these things. So, we could say that in the West, they have done as much as can be done with their fallible senses and tendency to cheat and so many things. But they've explored the external world. And they've left their set of laws, and they, we can create and develop like that. Isn't it unreasonable to think there were not all, just by the law of averages, there would be great minds in India, great Vedic sages. And they have also, but they haven't wasted their time studying all the details. I mean, there's Sankhya Yoga, which is fantastic. But they've explored the internal realm of consciousness. And they've left their charts, they've left their maps, they've left their lab books by delivering to us the Vedic literature. And it's a how-to-do book. You want to have pure consciousness? You want to be free? What is it? Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, Nasodhate, Naganchate. How to do it? You follow the teachings of Bhagavad. Even in America, they have a saying, garbage in, garbage out. You ever hear that one? You are what you eat. You eat chilies and garlic and caffeine, and you wonder why you're agitated all the time? Garbage in, garbage out. You watch Bollywood movies, and you wonder, you're looking at everybody, how do they look, what do they mean? I want more and more and more. Why? Because you stuffed all that garbage in your head. Garbage in, garbage out. So Bhagavad Gita, how to live in this world, it's an art. And the result is you see the world through eyes of Krishna consciousness, which is free from anxiety, free from fear. You feel that I'm in the hand of Krishna. We're all depending on something. Okay, we can in there, take a few minutes of questions. Anybody have a question? It's quiz time, folks. Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Maharaj. So,
Das, Anu, Das. I know who I am.
I don't know your address properly, but I was thinking.
We don't have a second mic. I guess it's a small
I'll
one.
speak a little louder.
Yeah, you turn up the volume.
So I was thinking that, whenever we have this, slight shake up of the water in our lives, right? Instantaneously we remember Krishna, right?
Good for you.
But whenever things are not shaking up, we tend to forget Krishna.
Therefore, Kunti prays.
That is why-
My miseries always come.
Yeah. So just want to understand, like when in this, specifically in this verse it has come, because this verse actually came at the right time for me. So it says that it remains always in the memory, or always in the Krishna consciousness, right? Whether it's in whichever form, right? But why do
I can't, I'm waiting for a question.
so my question is that why do we fall from that form of Krishna consciousness again and again and again?
Well, I can answer that in so many ways, but the nature If your question is, hey, when we're under pressure and anxiety, we call out for Krishna, we remember Krishna. But when things are going smoothly, we tend to just coast. Is that what you're saying?
we just.
Okay, so well, stanu is a nice word, and it's a description of the soul, and it means steady, stationary, fixed. But the perverted reflection of that, I've been thinking about this also. We tend to fall into an inertia that the pervert, like love is prema, but it becomes lust in the material world. That tendency to become steady becomes a tendency to just coast, to be in inertia. So it is the kind of the default mode in the material world is just to coast. That's just the nature of the thing. Therefore, we have been given by Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, we chant so many rounds a day. We read Bhagavad Gita, we have morning and evening program. We should all have some seva. If we can't visit the temple, we have our deities. That way when you're out shopping, you go, oh, nice mangoes. Oh, buy a nice mango and take it home to my deity, We're thinking, I like to cook. So, you could be thinking, oh, that's a nice this, nice that, I can cook for Krishna. I garden. It's hugely therapeutic. So, I grow fragrant flowers for the deities. So, we have devotional service. You should, if we weave into our life practical daily sadhana service, we have a fixed time we read, even if it's only for 15, 20 minutes a day. I probably said ideally an hour a day. But if when I drive my car, now I don't drive because I'm half blind and kill somebody or myself. But I play a tape. I have those by Amala Bhakta Swami, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He just reads the verses. I've been through that thing so many times. So I'm driving in there's a problem, it's everywhere. Let me give you an idea of life in America. We have a man who used to come to the temple. He got transferred to Chicago. And he was in charge of a whole area of the California freeway system. And he was in charge of the maintenance. Now, one section is the guys who pick up the garbage. And they have what they call, the nickname for them is chuckers. Like, it's this American slang to throw something away, to chuck it out, People throw away their cell phones because they're on the cell phone, driving in the car, and they're getting bad news. Their girlfriends dumped them, their bosses just fired them, the stock market has crashed. Whatever it is, there's so many agitation. And they're so angry, they throw their phone out the window. It's a regular event. People call all the time, you didn't happen to find an iPhone on Freeway 15, did you? By so-and-so crossing. So, now I forget what I was going to say. So people it is the nature of this world to be agitated. And, so instead of yapping on the cell phone I saw somebody cursing and they were listening to talk radio or something. We just slip in a CD or stick in a flash drive. I've been listening to recently Indradumna Swami's History of Vrindavan. It is wonderful. We have so much media out there. When you're driving your car to work, I don't mind traffic, to tell you the truth. I drive up to our LA, I'm the GBC for Los Angeles, and so I drive back and forth to LA. So even if there's traffic, I don't mind. I just put in my, CD of Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm home before I know it. So Prabhupada said, the devotees asked Prabhupada, why is Maya so strong? And the answer Prabhupada gave was because your purpose is weak. It's not that Maya is so strong, our purpose is weak. So if you design your life so that there are moments during the day by different activities, you automatically remember Krishna. You'll be fine. You know? But we have to endeavor. We have to, one of the first things Prabhupada told me, and we'll take another question. I asked him, is this world, I was asking him, it took me a while to get around to it, but I was asking, do we renounce this world? Some people say the world's profane, you know, you should go to a mountaintop and seal the cave and, you know, try to figure out what the sound of one hand clapping. I can tell you, that's the sound of one hand clapping. But anyway, or is this world to be enjoyed? God has made the sunset. Who's the guy, Tagore? The most beautiful creation of God is a woman. Prabhupada said every street dweller knows that. You know, he's thinking that's a big thing, you know? So, but anyway, is this world to be enjoyed? Or is it profane and corruptive and to be renounced? I was asking Prabhupada that. Prabhupada said, if I have a knife, he gave two things. First, Prabhupada said, if I have a knife, is it good or bad? I was a student. My brain froze. I didn't know what to say. You know? I used to be shy. Anyway, Prabhupada said, if I have a knife, is it good or bad? Is it material or is it spiritual? I blanked. Prabhupada said, if I use the knife as a robber, I can slit your throat. I can kill you. The same knife in the hand of a surgeon will save your life. So the knife in and of itself is not good or bad. It depends the consciousness and purpose it's used for. And the art of Krishna consciousness is how to use everything in Krishna's service. Everything is. I mean, I've done traveling programs, preaching programs, and I've seen devotees. The person has a TV, devotee spending the night there, puts a cloth over the TV, makes it into an altar. You know, so, and then the other thing Prabhupada told me was that, and this is the point I wanted to get to, Prabhupada said, if you put your, let's say this is a fence, okay? 6-foot fence. I'm sitting on top of it. If I lean this way, Prabhupada did this with his hands. If I lean this way, what will happen? Don't overthink it. I'll fall that way. If I lean this way, I'll fall this way. So it depends on which way we lean. Prabhupada said if you lean towards Krishna, Krishna will pull you. If you lean towards Maya, Maya will certainly pull you. So leaning to Krishna means to design our life such that we're leaning towards Krishna. If you know you've got you've got a job, you're working. If you think, hey, at the end of, I don't know how you want to parse it, depends on your life. At the end of the month, I'm going to take a certain amount of money and I'm going to go do something nice for the deities. I'm going to put on a little preaching program. You're paying the rent for this apartment, mortgage, rent, whatever it is. But what are you using it for? You've invited devotees, you've got some speaker, you've got deities, you have a program, you have prasadam. Is this building, the rest of the building may be mundane, but is this building mundane? I mean, this room? No. It's a temple, it's a platform for sadhusanga. So to avoid inertia, it's a long answer to your question, but to avoid inertia, plan your life So that daily, there's events in it that remind you of Krishna. Is that okay? And it's easy, it's fun, actually. Stop by the temple in the evening, whatever it may be. Buy a little grub. You go into the temple on Sunday, it's Saturday, you've got to go out shopping. Buy something for the bees, nice for the day. Nice big, right? We have those golden kiwis. Everything in America was picked green and shipped from Australia, practically speaking. You cannot get good fruit. You can't get it. Here you get nice, fresh, tropical fruit. Buy a nice, big, juicy Alfonso mango. You take it to Jagannath when you go to the temple. It's fun. Okay, another question, and we'll wrap up. Ladies, you don't want to hold up your end? Come on. Everybody's shy. It can't be that you're the only person. That was a good question, by the way. You all have questions. What did we do?
I had the same question actually that Prabhuji asked.
Acha.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Something.
You have a question? Nobody.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
When do we eat? That's the question. Somebody said
Yeah,
something?
I have another question.
All right, we'll take one more. So that way it's equal, the men's and the
So as you said, right, if you involve things where like you are involved in Krishna consciousness, then you automatically do it. So it's not like only when the bad phase comes, then you are more involved, you're asking why it's happening to me. But when good phase is there, then you are also involved in thanking him that.
Or I'll tell you another thing. When things go well, it's due to our keen intelligence. When things go wrong, it's Krishna's fault. But you had a question in there?
Yeah, so I mean that was my question, but apart from that I just wanted to ask, like, for daily involvement there are things we can do, but visiting temple, when we do so, what should be our main intention to visit the temple? Like when I'm going to the temple, I am
Are we
going there
talking
to
about
chant.
the local temple here?
Yeah, the temple here, like in the Cuff Road, right? Like if you go to the temple on Saturdays or Sundays, then what should be our intention? So when we are going there, we should chant, we should.
I mean, we all have, in Los Angeles, and I'm going to get to the point, don't worry. In Los Angeles, when I was a bhakta and a brahmachari, Prabhupada was living upstairs, and in the afternoon, Prabhupada would take prasadam and he would take a nap. And then when Prabhupada woke up, he would usually take I don't know what the Sanskrit name is, but he would take the afternoon, from what was offered to the deities, there usually was some grain and maybe some fruit juice, and they would bring that up to Prabhupada. And so we would all, Prabhupada, if you've ever been to the LA temple, Prabhupada's quarters were upstairs. Then there's a staircase and the ground floor. And we brahmacharis would wait for Prabhupada's servant to come down with Prabhupada's plate. And there'd be an orange and he'd suck the juice out of it. Maybe there'd be half of a cookie, or there'd be a little, and we would all just pile on it, Maha Prasadam, It's like those cartoon movies. You see an arm and a leg, and there's a big dust cloud. So the Nanda Kumar was Prabhupada's servant. He came down the steps one day, and there were sugar cookies and butter cookies, and they'd had peanut butter frosting on them. And Prabhupada had licked off the peanut butter frosting and left the cookie. So, we all piled on those. But Nanda Kumar asked Prabhupada later on, he said, Prabhupada, I made these peanut butter cookies. You left the frosting. You licked off the frosting and left the cookie. You know, because he was Prabhupada's cook. He didn't like the cookie. And Prabhupada said everyone has their own taste. So we're not automatons. We're not all carbon cutouts. We all have different moods and different rasas and different relationships. We have different personalities. In liberation, we don't blank out and become automatons. We all have refined spiritual inclinations. We're different. We're individuals. That's the whole sweetness of the thing. We serve Krishna in different ways. My point being is when people go to the temple, there's different moods. People want to hear the kirtan. People want to see the deities. People look forward to the class. People want to see their devotee friends. Hey, there's people who come for a nice meal, prasadam. So people come for all kinds of reasons. But I'll tell you something far out. I heard Prabhupada say, darshan, we know what darshan means. What does darshan mean? Hey, you all nodded your head, now you clam up. What does darshan, young man, what does darshan mean? Huh? Yeah, exactly. Don't be shy, you're right. We'll still be friends even if we were wrong. So, I'm not as mean as I look. Close, but not quite. Darshan means we see Krishna, right? That's not the complete answer. I heard Prabhupada say, darshan also means we like to see Krishna. Krishna likes to see us. So you come to the temple, Jagannath thinks, oh, here's my devotee. She or he could have gone shopping, they could be watching a Bollywood movie, they could be playing tennis, they could have gone bowling, I don't know what people do, you know. But he came to see me. Krishna's a person. So what do people see, what do people hear, why do they come? Depends on you. There's, 9 different arts of devotional service. So even one of them is good enough. Just be happy. Come see Krishna, be happy. Okay, time for Prashad. Actually, Krishna consciousness, I saw Prabhupada do this. Suppose I say, who can I pick on? I'll pick on you. Touch your nose. No. Touch your nose. No. You know how you touch your nose? That's Prabhupada's example. You know, we tend to make things so complicated. You know, we've got a short life. Let's use it in Krishna's service. Do your duty. Prabhupada said a train runs on 2 tracks. You know, our life, we have to take care of our material duties, but don't forget your spiritual duties. The train runs on 2 tracks. Do your material duty and do your duty for Krishna. And go home back to Godhead. What's the problem? Okay. We'll end there. Thank you very much for this. Sorry.
Jai.
I can tell you, in my no, you can get me ready to do that. In my 73 years, Krishna, and I met Prabhupada in 1969. I moved into the temple in 70. I got initiated in 71, so you can do the math. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, Krishna consciousness gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. It is the best move I've ever made. And I have the good fortune now of meeting people who are my age. And what is that, Robert Frost, 2 paths departed, you know, in the diverged in the forest. I took the one less traveled, and that has made all the difference. I meet people who've gone the other way, you know, that I knew in high school or whatever. And they said, we thought you were crazy when you became a monk, you know? And I had one friend that he told me, he said, I have grabbed life with both hands. He said, but happiness slipped right through my fingers. He said, you did the right thing. I've had many people tell me that. So what happens now, Prashant?
Thank you,
He
Maharaj.
agrees, there's no argument for this young man.
Can I just request devotees tomorrow at the Saturday program? Maharaj will take the class at the Varanga Center. So please come. It'll be at 5:30. Please be punctual and please come and hear Maharaj. Maharaj takes the class on Sunday morning from 7:30 to 8:30. That's the Srimad Bhagavatam program. And then in the evening, there's the evening program. Maharaj will take the class there. Bengali devotees will be there. Everyone is also welcome. So thank you so much, Maharaj.
Now, thank you. Now, you will all have, sound cool. You all have 24, well, yeah, till tomorrow, if you're coming tomorrow, that's 24 hours. If you come Sunday, it's 48 hours. I want you all to come with a question. Oh, and you're all, come with a question. It's fun. That way I know what you're thinking. I know what I'm thinking, but I want to know what you're thinking.
Can I ask one?
Oh, now you have a
Because I just now came, so
Go
I
ahead.
want to ask, like we came in the earth, we take a birth, then everyone doing their job, like some house or some jobs and everywhere. It's our something is a purpose to send God us, means is anything apart from these jobs? Is any purpose to came or just take a birth and go and then do karma and dharma, these things only?
Isn't quite.
So, what is the purpose of coming to this
Yeah,
world?
to earth, yeah.
Is there a purpose for everybody? Why we are coming to this world?
Yes, this one.
You came to this world because you want to enjoy separate from Krishna. This is not our natural state, this world. Is your natural state to be in the hospital? I ask you, is your natural state to be in the hospital diseased? But why are you in the, don't help her out, she'll figure it out. Why are you in the hospital? To stay in the hospital? Why are you in the hospital?
Because I want.
No.
No, Maharaj is
Not how
asking.
did you get there? If you're in the hospital, what does he say? He's that, he's in another
I
room.
said that you mean that in the hospital, that were you born in the hospital or somewhere else?
Anyway, you're in the hospital
Yeah.
to get cured, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to stay in the
Yeah.
hospital diseased and
If something
pain.
happens, then emergency, then.
You
only-
want to get cured and get out.
Yeah.
You got that?
Yes.
Why are you in the hospital? You want to
Because
get
if
cured
something happens
and you,
then.
don't repeat what I say. Why are you in the hospital? You want to get cured and you want to get out to your healthy, natural life. So why are you in the hospital?
Get an extra healthy life.
Yeah, you want to get cured and you want to get out. Why are you in the hospital?
I got it.
You want it, you're diseased, and what do you want to do? It's the same question. What do you want to do?
I want to cure myself.
Cure and get out.
Correct.
Thank you. Now, this is not our real home, this world. We are in a diseased condition, this world. So in the same way, we want to get cured and we want to get out. Our home is with Krishna in the spiritual world. That's where we belong. We're not meant to be here. So the human form of life is to get cured, to develop our love for Krishna. One kid wrote a little line of poetry. Prabhupada liked it very much. Instead of loving just a dog or a cat. Why not love Krishna, who made all of that? So our purpose in life is to develop our love for Krishna and leave this, get rid of this diseased lust, greed, anger, envy. Get rid of it. I'm this body. I, me, I want, I need. Forget it. We're meant to be cured of that disease and become happy and learn to love Krishna. And when we learn to love Krishna, we go to Krishna, which is our real home. If you've ever been in the hospital and when you finally get to leave, how do you feel? Oh, I'm going home. I'm out of this place. When students graduate, you know, I don't know what they do here, but in America, they all toss their cap. Oh, what is it? No more study, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks. Oh, what a relief. That's a shadow, a speck of what it's like to go back home, back to Godhead. Get me out of this place. Okay?
Thank you.
Now you have some questions. You gotta speak up. I'm half deaf and the fans go.
Maharaji, when I look around, I see all senior devotees here.
Senior
Senior
devotees?
devotees, they are senior devotees. They know Sanskrit. They do a lot of things to stay connected to Krishna. So, I'm nobody in front of them. I don't know how to read shlokas. I don't know Sanskrit. I only do chanting. By doing chanting, can I just go back to Godhead? Like if I don't do anything else, I don't know how to do, like the way they cook.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, the answer is if you sincerely serve Krishna.
Only chanting.
Yeah, just listen to me. You asked me a question, can I answer it? Okay. Just wanted to set the dynamic. At the same time, why don't we follow what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us? You don't have to learn Sanskrit. You've got the English language. I mean, or whatever, you've got Hindi, you've got Gujarati, whatever you've got. The more strands you combine to a rope, the stronger the rope, isn't it? If you look at a nice straw, like a naval rope, it's got a number of strands bound together. The more strands, the stronger the rope. You understand the example? The more we can add, the more we can bind, the stronger our rope that will take us back to Godhead. So, definitely, if you chant a minimum 16 nice rounds a day, you will. Prabhupada told me, actually he was speaking to an audience, in New York City, in Brooklyn Temple. Prabhupada said you chant 16 minimum rounds a day. You follow the 4 regular principles, you serve the Vaishnavas, and you spread Krishna consciousness to the best of your ability. That can be humble. That can be telling your family members. It's simple. Chant 16 rounds minimum, follow the regular principles, serve the Vaishnavas, and spread Krishna consciousness to whatever your ability. Prabhupada said you will go back to Godhead in this life. We were shocked. Later on in the darshan that afternoon, Jayadvaita Maharaj asked Prabhupada, chant minimum 16 rounds, nice rounds, follow the regular principles, serve the Vaishnavas, and spread Krishna consciousness as modestly to whatever degree you can. And you will see Krishna face to face in this life. Jayadvaita Maharaj said, in this life, Prabhupada slammed his hand on the desk and said, in this life, why not? So yes, but we're all looking for black and white, so many simple formula. Definitely, you chant 16 rounds nicely, go back to Krishna. But why not add to that serving the Vaishnavas, serving the deities in the temple? You know, whatever. Set up a little book table, go with the devotees, help make garlands at Rath Yatra. It doesn't matter. But why just do one thing? Why not add to it? But if all you can process is chanting it, fine, chant 16 rounds. Don't worry.
Guarantee
But
I
the
will-
tendency is, I'll tell you why I'm giving you a two-sided answer. Because the tendency to think is it can be the seed of pride. I just chant. Everyone else is chanting, but I'm just chanting. I'm like Haridas Thakur. So you don't want to fall. But if you're a genuine Vaishnava humility, all I can do is chant Krishna's name. No problem. Krishna will be very pleased. Okay, now it's time. We'll finish.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. Last minute question. You can save them tomorrow.
Please come tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.